Hello, people that in the house are doing. So I'm talking about this because I heard somebody today. Don't know where it came out of. Somebody was like there was something down the country, of some farm, but I looked into it. I couldn't find really anything. There was a few articles about different things, but couldn't find what they were talking about specifically. But they said it was somewhere down Cork, Kerry, that direction. And it was to do with a big international company, pharmaceutical company in other words. And dumping waste into the lakes and rivers around that area, whatever area it is, I don't know where. But that does happen. Big pharmaceutical companies that just dump waste into the rivers and lakes. And you could see this that they just don't care about the environment. Then the local authorities just turn the blind eye to it. Um, you see that happens very often. That does really happen very often. And it's very hard to catch them. It's very hard to even because the government won't really do much about it. And the same with the local towers, they won't do much about it. If that was the only paddy trying to pay his bills and couldn't afford to get rid of his rubbish or whatever, let's say waste or whatever, and he fired them into the lake, he'd be more likely caught than the people that do it because they probably turn the blind eye. But yeah, and it's to go with Widdy, and this is to do with sewage too. Suppose Widdy just thought, well, when I'm here, I might as well talk about it. Such a thing to say when I'm here, I might as well talk about it. Um, it does happen. Raw sewage does go into lakes and rivers. Um, sometimes by accident, sometimes on purpose. But the thing is, you just don't know. Where they're pumping in sewage or where they're pumping in different things and that, and this, that, like you just don't know what this government is up to. You just don't know. You couldn't tell you what this government has put into the river and put into lakes and put into like with the water treatment plants. Like they have it purified and have things and this, that, and the other put into it. Um, which is obvious because you do have to purify the water before anybody drinks it. Because my God, if you didn't drink it, you have a sour taste in your mouth. Um, but there is sewage going into rivers and lakes in some parts of the country, in some parts of Cavan. There's sewage. There must be. Um, you obviously you think to yourself, what good is that doing to the environment and everything like that. And that's the question you have to ask because with this new government, let's put it this way, whenever it comes in, there's more or less an old government apart from just being the Green Party win now. I don't know how they're going to wiggle out of this one. Trying to clear the lakes and rivers. Like already, it's full of plastic and rubbish and everything in every part of the river, in every rivers in Ireland and every lake in Ireland is full of rubbish. Just thrown into lakes and the rivers, full up with plastic boxes. Everything. Just the lakes are just destroyed over the last few years. Don't know how they're going to do it, and then they have to deal with sewage, and then with big pharmaceutical companies. Don't know what they're going to do. They talk about putting up a carbon tax. They're talking about this, that, and the other Green Party. But at the end of the day, you're not seeing much. They talk about air pollution, but it doesn't. I don't know does that cover really air pollution. But you don't hear them like the one thing I want to hear from any party, and this is the thing. Anything to do with illegal dumping or anything like that, because they don't seem to have really much care for. Because it's gone mad around this county. It's gone mad around Ireland and Cavan. It's absolutely gone mad, especially when the countryside. It's gone mad. Especially these big international corporations just firing stuff everywhere. And nothing's been said about it. Nothing really was said about it. Like there was one time, I recall this, but I wasn't involved and I heard of it. And it was on the other side of Mead. Some corporation, big corporation from some other country was in Ireland, and dumped something into a forest. And obviously it was a big corporation and obviously they had big lorries and everything like that. Just fucked the stuff into the forest and nothing was said about it. There was cameras in the area and I don't know what happened to that. But obviously that's something to do with me County Council or something like that. That's what I heard. I don't know. I haven't got any proof to back it up. But that's what I heard. That's the whole back then. But it wouldn't surprise me because the big international corporations get off for murder in this country. They literally do. They just swing up their friends and all there and be like, hey, the guards are giving me trouble. And the next thing you know, there won't be any trouble. But it's just to do with, if if they want the green agenda, then fair enough. I'm happy enough if they want a green agenda or whatever. They want cut down on, when we're talking about oil and oil bonus, things like that. Because eventually, and I'm not a supporter of the Green Party. Might just say straight, I'm not a supporter of him and why in the West. That I think they're, a bit. I think they're just looking for the money. I think they're using this just for money making. But obviously oil and coal. That's eventually going to run out. The same as every human in natural resources, it's going to run out. It's going to dry up. Um, and obviously that's not, it's not going to happen today or tomorrow. It's going to happen in about 30, 40 years maybe. Because, like all resources have to, it's the same with everything. Everything has to, dry up eventually, and you use the earth uses its resources. You can't really get oil and coal back. At least I don't think so. I'm not, like Game and Wine, I probably have a bigger brain than I have. But yeah, maybe it's just mad talk I'm talking about. But yeah, it's just to do. I thought I'd just talk about it because it was on my mind. I was thinking about it before. I was writing a few things and I was thinking about it, and I said I might just talk about it. Because what, I looked into it. There's not really much. Like the media wouldn't even talk about it. They wouldn't. I highly doubt they would even say anything about it. But I don't know. Like I have no proof really to back it up. Unless somebody has proof or something like that. Because I have no proof. But I wouldn't be surprised. I might just have straight of dumping sewage or anything like that, or into big international companies dumping things everywhere here than pharmaceutical companies. But then, thanks for watching. Subscribe more and bye.